we have to develop our own technology. So Make in India is actually a great initiative. The initial challenge of establishing the proof of technology or establishing the proof of concept, okay, this is working. If you have an idea only, then I would say, okay, through the startup mission is actually one of the opening.
And in coming back to your research capability, the finding people for this job is one of the toughest part.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that kind of infrastructure. For example, we have made engineers focused on building software that can be sold in SaaS or some other model as one career is going on. But this is a different route.
Yeah.
Usually the research is means you going for some PhD guys associated to some industry, specifically some colleges. That's how it is. But there is a research-based industry.
Yeah.
That's something new.
That is actually one. That is the real change that is actually going to happen, especially in Kerala and in India also, across India, because there is a big need for technologies that are actually needed for our specific areas and our kind of problems.
Yes.
So, as you rightly mentioned, getting the right kind of talent is actually always a challenge. So, one of the things that we had done is also that we were able to interact with some of the institutes like IIST, CET, then NICER, IIT Delhi. So we were CSIR. So we were interacting with all these institutions, and we were also in touch with some of the professors in those institutes, and because the real need is actually in the education institutions should have a work very closely with the industry to solve the real problems. So with that in mind, actually the Trust Research Park in Trivandrum is actually doing a very good job that way speaking, because it actually helped people like us to establish our company. So we are a company. Then Netrasam is actually a semiconductor company which is also based out of Trust Research Park.
Okay.
So that way, working closely with the education institutions is actually a must. Then only they will be able to support the industry, and also they will get the real hands-on experience with the real problems. So some of the challenges that we are facing is actually because of the software focus. Everyone is actually opting for the software-based careers, but still there are few people who are. We were able to pick few from various institutes like IIT Guwahati, IIT Patna, IIT Roorkee, then from CET. So we were able to pick up few people from these institutes who are actually genuinely interested in pursuing a career in this kind of area. So that is one way speaking. That is actually one challenge as a deep tech company who are involved in technology development related activity. That's a challenge, how we are going to mobilize the right kind of team, right?
Yes.
There is a
scaling
need. And scaling up is also another challenge. So somehow we are able to build ours is like a small team, but still we are able to build a good team who are actually able to understand the technical nuances of the domain in which we are working.
Okay.
And as part of our activity, what we have done is actually we have pivoted a few times. So weather prediction is actually one of the main activity. Atmospheric sensing is actually the our first solution, first product. Instead of weather, I would say instead of weather predict, because we are also using only the standard weather models only.
Yes.
So our innovation is actually in the weather atmospheric parameter sensing. So our vision is actually we want to visualize the we want to come up with the images of the subsurface, maybe 50 meter below the surface to maybe 500 kilometer above the surface. So 500 kilometer to minus 50 meter is actually the kind of vision that we are having as a company. So we have identified few product lines that can be that can basically realistically we can achieve or we can implement our vision. So with that focus for the subsurface area, we are having a product line called ground penetrating radar.
Okay.
Then the atmospheric sensing, we have Ensonde, that is the product name. Then another area that we are working is actually on the synthetic aperture radars, which can be, so as a payload actually we should be able to mount the SAR payload. This is for basically imaging the terrain mapping, those kind of purposes. So from a top, we'll be using the
able to
payload,
identify the terrain,
like a satellite payload or the HAPS payload or even drones which can fly maybe 2000 meter above the ground. If we are able to do that, we can constantly monitor the terrain mapping, how the so that is another product line that we are working on. So as part of that, when we really got into the thick of things, right? So the experience is that there is a real problem is actually when we are doing the RF sensing, we have a problem because the size of the antenna is and the power requirements all are actually really big. So we want to miniaturize it. So one of the pivots that we had taken is actually how to miniaturize the antenna. So if we pursue the conventional way, it is very difficult. There are conventional physics.
Mobility is going to be a challenge.
Size is actually a challenge. So one of the that is how actually we ended up in exploring quantum sensing. So what we are developing is actually a next generation antenna. Which will be next generation sensing solution, I would say. Which will be quantum sensing technology based solution, which will be very small,
almost
compact,
invisible antenna.
Very small antenna. So instead of that conventional mechanical structure, we will be able to come up with a very small vapor cell based system, and we have established our first quantum sensing laboratory here at Trust Research Park. So we are continuing that activity, and we are in the process of productizing it. So our all our products, whether it is actually GPR or the Ensonde or this SAR related payloads, all are actually going to be using this atomic receiver. We call it as atomic receiver as the core of the sensing technology, which is based on the quantum sensing. And we have some good traction in that area, and we are working on the first prototype is actually going to be ready by at least by next June. We will be able to come up with the first quantum sensing product from Augsense Lab. So when we decide to switch to quantum sensing technology, so obviously one of the main challenges is actually how to establish the lab, because we need good photonics lab with the laser and other photonics components, which is actually very expensive. So one is actually, of course, the cost part, then the talent part. So cost part actually, so at that time, fortunately for us, after our CEO Kannan was actually pursuing a lot of his core skill is actually he built a network of I would say very good network of people whom we can at any point of time we can approach and seek advice or that kind of thing. So with this persistent focus, and we were able to get our first investor, who is actually a pioneer in basically in the defense sector. So they are it's an open thing. ML Tech Imeltech India Limited is the investor. It's actually a subsidiary of Solar Industries. Solar Industries is one of the main provider in the main industry leader in the defense sector. So they are after hearing our story, and they are ready to support. Ready to invest in us, and we got our first investment, and with that actually we were able to buy all the costly devices and all, and we could set it up in a matter of, I would say, 4.5 months. Actually, we could set up the first set of devices and our lab, and we could get a lot of optomechanical things. Actually, we were able to get it from a company in Kochi itself called Mark. They are very good in high precision optomechanical components. So we were able to get support. We were able to get a lot of components from them also. So we could establish our quantum sensing lab here in Trivandrum itself. Maybe the first of its kind in India in the private sector, most likely. So hoping, and we started our experiments from June onwards. Actually, we could start the experiments in our lab, and at least by next June, that is 2026 June, we should be able to complete the first prototyping activity. That is the current plan for us.
So where are you going to test this prototype? So you have any plan for that?
So prototypes will be mainly focusing on ground penetrating radar and some of the alien solutions, which will be, we have some specific target customers, and also we'll work closely with the KSDMA for their some other sites for trying out these solutions. So we are working closely with the KDISC. KDISC is actually one of the main supporting department in Kerala government for this for initiatives like ours.
So I think this initiative, for example, if you're looking at the world, geopolitical world now, so developing an indigenous technology within the country, that's a major focus from the central government. So especially on the defense sector, being self-sustained. So in that perspective, and how is actually helping companies like yours, and is you are getting enough support, or is the right time to emerge and get into those kind of sector?
Yes, we have to develop our own technology. So Make in India is actually a great initiative. So a lot of focus is actually on the semiconductor industry and also the defense sector. So become self-reliant in the defense technologies is actually one of the main focus area of India government. So how they are actually involving small players like startup, because they have a big focus on the startup ecosystem. Because most of the new technology or the path-breaking innovations can come from startup than an established player. Like so, there is an initiative called IDEX, Innovation for Defense Excellence, where all the armed forces, Air Force, Army, Navy, all those NDRF, all those people are actually posting their big challenges in that IDEX. So firms like us who are startups, they can pick the problem and come up with the solution, and there will be an expert evaluation committee. They will review the proposal, and based on the merit of the proposal, they will allocate the funds or the grants or productization support. All those things are actually carried out at the Ministry of Defense level itself. So we won one defense challenge from IDEX, and which is I think there are only few companies from Kerala won the IDEX challenge. So we are one among them. So defense is actually a main focus area that we should approach. I mean, all the because there is a technology gap which we need to
Feel it.
fix it at a faster pace. So that is why all these new technology areas, whether it's actually AI based or the quantum technology or the quantum computing based solutions, defense is actually a one big customer. And if we have a good idea, a good product idea, definitely
You can
we
pitch
can.
in.
Yeah, we can also publish as a open challenge.
Okay.
There are a set of listed problems from armed forces, and if you have a unique idea which can solve any of the bigger issues, we can publish that also. We can submit that also to IDEX.
Okay.
So winning IDEX is actually one positive thing happened
Yeah.
last year, and that actually going to help us in our revenue generation journey
Yeah.
in the upcoming years.
Yeah. Other than investment, are these government entities helping you in supporting the research? For example, you got support for this quantum development and initial phase. Similar to that, this organization, government organization, are they supporting?
Government organization, so the grants are actually limited in the case of the technology areas in which actually we are working. The DLI based schemes are there for a lot of other sectors like semicon and all.
Okay.
Quantum technology, there is a national quantum mission is there. So the education institutions are also instructed to work with startup, so that actually as an ecosystem everything can be developed in India. So with that in mind, I think central government had allocated 6,000 crore for allocation for national quantum mission itself.
Okay.
And they are focusing on quantum computing, quantum cryptography, quantum sensing. So those are actually some of the areas in which they are focusing on. So that is happening. But again, for the initial challenge is actually you cannot, you have to prove the idea to somebody. Then only we are then sometimes the journey will be very easy. But the initial challenge of establishing the proof of technology or establishing the proof of concept, okay, this is working. That is actually the responsibility of the founders, it seems.
Yes, it's the biggest challenge. It's time consuming, it's a lot of patience, and also you need a team that can live with it.
Yeah, there is a I'm sure when you are investing in deep technology, okay, the time taken will be very long, but the rewards also will be, I think, will be that also will be big. That is my expectation. That is the dream that we are all having as an entrepreneur. That is what drives us, right?
Yes.
So some of the challenges that we are going to face is, of course, the access to the funds is one thing. Then access to talent. But if we are able to work with some of the good institutions in India itself, that will help us to overcome some of these big challenges.
Okay, right. So, and attracting funds, that's one of the next big challenge. And in this, you said you have a network, good network, that's why you're able to do this. But what are the other options? So somebody want to get into this, they want to attract this investment. So what are the options available?
If you have only one idea, if you have an idea only, then I would say, okay, through the startup mission is actually one of the opening where you can basically pitch your idea and you can validate the idea with the experts, and they can give based on the merit of the idea, they will support the further funding or further support will be there. So the Kerala startup ecosystem, I would say, very matured, and it's actually a well-oiled machine. kind of thing. It's there are certain things will be they classify these projects, the ideas into multiple categories. But in the case of the technology like ours, because that we have to work with the access to the labs is actually one of the support needed from the government side, because government institutes has got a lot of labs with a lot of equipments, and if the startups can work with the government organizations or the institutions or the labs like DRDO lab or the Rajiv Gandhi Technology Biotechnology Lab, then SCT lab. So in all these places, there are a lot of equipments are available, and if those availability of the equipments can be open to startups, that will be a good initiative. I think from the government side, they have created a big directory of list, and also the availability of availability time and all. But again, the problem is actually when we are solving something in our lab, we cannot take all these things to another institute and perform it. So we may have to get the device on loan for a month, or those kind of things are actually needed for establishing the ecosystem. There are good facilities like Maker Village or the Fab Labs of Kerala. Those are actually good, but some more support is actually needed to gain the real momentum and make the innovation cycle faster. That is my
resource shortage is challenging.
Yes. The resource shortage, the equipment related thing. Then if you want to buy an equipment, also the time delay is very high, right? Say if you want to import from US or other areas, it takes its own suit time. So we have to manage those kind of challenges as a startup. We have to do that.
So which means you have to predict your growth. Based on that, you can start acting and which stage, what equipments, the funding. So you have to plan ahead so that you can save time.
You have to plan ahead. That is true. We have to plan ahead well. Then only, because for us also, we planned from November, and roughly it took 4.5 months to get all the needed equipments in India. So some of them have come from US, Germany, Taiwan. So, and also establishing that lab premises. Those are actually some of the we have to plan it actually in a nice manner.
Okay.
So good planning is actually very much needed for venturing into this kind of technology development.
So for example, you are setting up a lab or this kind of so is it like you are going from scratch and trying to everything figure out yourself, or is there some community or some agency is actually helping?
We didn't get that kind of support, but again, establishing a lab, say for example, if you interact with the IAST or the NICER or maybe ICER, so we got those kind of inputs from those institutes where they had set up this kind of lab, and we visited there, and we could get a feel of what kind of activities that they are doing, and also what kind of systems that they have procured. So we took that as the reference and planned our strategy, because otherwise it will be very time consuming activity.
Yes, that's the question, because you have to trial and error, and then
it's costly,
it's expensive.
It is very expensive, and sometimes we will not be able to afford that kind of trial and error method. And we got few people who are actually worked in US, NIST lab and all. So they also have got that exposure in those area. So when I say talent, actually talent with the real exposure in at least in the related field will be very helpful.
Yeah, real world experience.
Real domains will be helpful.
Okay. So some operation knowledge is required.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything from scratch will be difficult. That is
Yes.
my take on
So
that.
in order to get here, you must have some level of operation knowledge. Otherwise, you will again you will lose time and save money.
Yeah, sometimes you lose time, and we also lose our edge, right? Because most of the time, when you are doing the technology development, who brings the technology first to the market is actually has got an edge, right? The first mover advantage is there. So and similar kind of research will be happening everywhere.
Yes.
So the time is actually the essence, real essence.
Okay. Okay. Now you have passed the initial phase. Now you have some prototype in plan. Now you have investors coming online. Also, you have some contract. So how you are planning to grow the next level? Because that's the most challenging part. Now you have a team that is set with your vision. Scaling, you have to. It's a completely new world. You're going to add new team. Diversity need to bring. So you have to look after the people management on same time with the research activities.
Yeah. So scaling up is actually the next biggest challenge, and the next set of investors will be always look for that kind of growth. Then only as a business also we will be able to grow. We are aware of that challenge. So as one part, actually what we have done is actually we are working with the KSIDC's Kinfra Park.
Okay.
And we are establishing one more center therefore specifically for prototyping and related prototype manufacturing and related activities in the quantum sensing area. So that is so we are so our objective is actually to stand on our 2 feet first, then move. So with that in mind, actually we are slowly we are doing that thing, but scaling up is actually consisting of one is the space for the scaling up, then next is talent. So we are we also working out certain plan for hiring some of the specific people with the quantum sensing technology background and embedded engineering, RF microwave engineering in those areas, and digital signal processing area.
Okay.
And also we are also planning to hire a few people with real manufacturing experience, so that actually our product from a concept to the product journey can be we can scale that path in a smooth manner. So then of course all these things needs money, and we are also looking at few options specifically from some of the potential investors who are ready to invest in this kind of deep tech area. So our last investment was actually in the pre-seed kind of thing. Now with the orders in hand, and I am very optimistic about that kind of prospects with a few contracts in our hand. We will be able to scale in a smooth manner. That is my that is our all the founders. So one of the real unique thing about our founding team is actually we all are actually with a different background. Two people are actually in the sales and marketing side. I am from the operations side. Then the two technology experts are there, one in the cloud side and the other is actually in the embedded and the imaging and quantum technology side. So that is also I would say one lesson or one positive thing happened in our company.
So you have already onboarded leaders of full ecosystem.
Yeah, so we have almost all aspects actually we can cover to some extent. So we all five founders actually we all worked at various companies at some point of time together. So that also helped us in knowing us each other and taking up these challenges.
Okay, great.